All right, so just a quick update. I'm working out, so I'm out of breath. But I went to Menards and I picked up that miter saw, and I go to the back, drive through the back, walk through that door, tell them who I am. They go to the back. I bought two windows too. Bring out the windows, and they bring out the miter saw, and the miter saw is just sitting on a little cart. It's not in a box, not anything. They have the battery just snapped in and everything else. The rest of the cords are dragging. You might hear some noise. It's the blender, but the cords are dragging. And I'm thinking to myself, they really want me to pay full price for this. Yeah, they want to pay full price. Yeah. Anyway, I get the thing home because I don't have time to inspect it. It took almost 2 hours to get there. I'm just headed home. So I get home, I look at the thing. I have a headache at this point. I don't have enough energy to complain and write them or call them or anything like that. But the sliding rod, wish I had pictures, darn it. But the sliding rod was rusty. It was missing the mechanism to change the bevel. It's a little screw, you gotta pull it out, that's gone. Uh, it's rust on the actual little plate that you place your items on. And the thing is in bad shape, but it actually came with some extra stuff that the other two didn't have. So, I ended up calling them, and the guy gave me $50 off. Now it was like $56 off. Now, granted, when you talk to like cashiers and stuff, they do have a limit of $50 before they have to escalate it. But I feel like they should have escalated that. Menards, y'all totally dropped the ball. I don't know why you're selling these things as new, knowing good and well they're not new. They're missing things. It's just ridiculous. But I ended up having three, pieced a whole bunch of stuff together and got one whole one. And I'm done with that. I'm not saying don't shop at Menards because a deal's a deal. But just know their customer service is not where it needs to be. And if you have a problem, I don't know. I would say it's better to try to price match with other people. But Lowe's is discontinuing it too. They didn't have any, so it is what it is. All right, so I kind of mentioned this in a video I posted a few days ago in the comments, but I have two Metabo Miter Saws here. They're both 36 volt, so they're hybrids. Now, the reason I have two here is because the first one that box is actually in the basement, but this one's no better, in this beat up box, as you see here. But the thing that really tips you off is the Menards tape. Like, why does it have Menards tape on there? Originally, I just thought it was because they were trying to reinforce the box for shipping, but they normally wouldn't do that if it was just being shipped out from the warehouse, right? So I'm like, okay, this had to have been a return. Well, not quite, because if you inspect the saws, you could tell they've never been used. But when I opened up the box, they had all types of handprints and fingerprints all over them. Both of them did. And when you look at let's zoom in here. If you look at the power cord, do you see all that dust? Look at that. That's clearly not, or these just marks. No, it's dust and dirt and it's caked on. This has clearly been sitting out somewhere. This is not brand new. Otherwise, it would be clean and black. Same for the other one. That one didn't even come with this red wrapping on it. So obviously something is going on here. Now, I sent them a message about it, and they ended up sending me out another one and sending me a return label for whichever one came first. I think that one came first. So they ended up sending me a return label for that one, but I didn't send it back immediately. I said, you know what, let me just wait for the second one to come just to make sure everything is fine. I'm glad I did that because, again, they both looked like returns of some sort. Like somebody did a YouTube video on it and just did an unboxing and then took it back. But that's not what happened. So I ended up placing another order because they're actually even cheaper at Menards now. They're $3.55. You get a mail-in rebate, but it's just basically a gift card. So it's still $3.99, but hey, you got a $44 gift card too. So they're a little cheaper now. So what I did, I placed the order for one of those, and I'm like, nope, I'm just going to send these back. I told them, come get these. They said they'll be here Monday. So I place an order at the store and just decide I'm going to just drive the 94 miles, ridiculous, to get that. Uh, Mind you, before I go there, I asked him, I said, look, man, the closest store to me is 94 miles. Can you just work with me here? Because you guys, and I'll end up keeping one of these. I'll test them out and I'll keep the best one. But I need a discount because these aren't new. This guy returned. I said, plus they're $355 right now. So this dude responds and say, well, I'll give you a $40 gift card. I'm like, that's still not as good as the current price. Like, look, that's not a discount unless you're going to give them something for $355 plus the $40. Then that's something, but that's still not good enough. So anyway, I decided I'm going to just go to the store pick it up. So I order it online, and I'm preparing to send these two back. I hadn't even pulled them out of the box up until just now. And then they called me last night saying, hey, you placed the order with us? I'm like, yeah, I did. They said, okay, well, the computer said we had two, but really we only had one, and it's a display unit. Everything, is in there. Do you still want that? And I'm like, no, cancel it. Now, I'm actually still going to go up there because one is cheaper, and I have to go out there anyway to pick up some stuff from Home Depot, so I might as well just get the cheaper one while I'm out there. But now I see what the issue is. They're just sending everyone out display units, okay? So these aren't coming from a warehouse. They're coming from a Menards store, and these are all display units or maybe returns or whatever. It doesn't seem like they have any new stock because they're all on clearance now. Now they're being marked down as clearance. So now we know why these are so cheap. And for the money, it's still okay, but I don't like them being represented as this brand new thing for $3.99, and then they send you this nonsense. So let me just show you guys a few things you need to watch out for if you're buying these. You might need to get two, or just say get one and complain, and then they send you another one. Then you mix and match here and take the best of both worlds. So let's first of all talk about this guard here. Look at this. All right. Now, if you come over to this one, see, this is what happens when stuff is on display. People break things. And when I tried to secure it, I tried to secure this screw here because that's what's holding this on. Nope, it just spins, so it's stripped. So, yeah. No bueno to that. Now, over on this one, well, real quick, check this arm out. This is nice and secure, surprisingly. But on this one, it moves a little bit. I secured that, secured it on the end. This, you gotta leave a little gap so it can travel up and down. That's when you're lifting it up and lifting it and then pulling it down. But this had a whole lot of play in it before. I still don't like that this clanks, because this one doesn't at all. It's nice and silent and smooth, but I mean, the whole thing moves. So that's that. Another thing, when you want to make a bevel cut, I want to see if I can catch this whole thing. Matter of fact, let me pull it back. All right, so if you want to make a bevel cut, you got to first unlock it, right? It's already locked, but if we do this is really hard. It's really hard. I mean, if I keep working on it, it gets a little easier, it seems. But this is really hard. It's smooth going down, and see, I lifted the whole thing up, and pushing it up, it's a little tough. Now it's unlocked, and when you want to make a bevel cut, see how hard that was? It's made the whole thing slide. Well, I had to use my foot for leverage to hold it in place. When you want to put it back, all right, now it's back up. Now this one, notice I'm not going to use anything for leverage to lock and unlock it. Well, that was really hard that time, but it's not smooth. It snaps up. All right, let's see if it'll lift the whole thing up. Probably. Yep, it snaps up. Completely different feeling. But when you want to move and make a bevel cut, it kind of almost flops once it gets to a certain spot. But it's way easier. It's way easier to move. Now, I could probably adjust that in the back. There's a nut back there I could probably adjust and it'll be much smoother. As for this, I can't really call that. It might be something to adjust there. But those are pretty much the only differences. Those two things and then the cable. So let me see if I can zoom in on the cables here. So while this doesn't look like it was ever used, look at the way it was stored. Let me turn on the light. All right, take a look at the way it was stored. You see that? You don't want to see that in your cables. So it was stored, it looks like something was just sitting on top of it and it pinched the wires wherever they were folded. So this is not going to probably last as long as that one because it could have damaged the wires inside of the housing there or inside the sheath. Now we come take a look at these, we don't see that type of thing. Everything is smooth. Well, you see a little bit here, but it's not nearly as bad, especially at the little entry or exit point there. But wait a minute, did that have? Okay, let's check this out. Okay, all right. So take a look at this. What do you notice about this cable? Okay, now let's come over here. Let's take a look at this cable. What do you notice? What's missing from the other one? Oh boy. See, now this protects it from doing this, even though it still did it anyway, because they probably, when it was in storage, they sat something on top of it. This is obviously a newer, improved version over that. Boy, oh boy. Boy, oh boy. So, yeah, I'm going to go get another one tomorrow, and then I'm just going to just take all the best parts off of each one and, keep that one. Now, it has it on this. It's on here, but I tell you, what's going on with Menards, and they didn't want to give me anything. They still want me to pay full price for this thing. That's crazy. Anyway, I can't believe this video has been 10 minutes. I just wanted to show you guys that. Be careful out here in these streets. I thought something else. My arm was hurting. I had to hang up. But, I thought something else. After all that I went through, and these people know that I traveled so far, and they sent me, 2 messed up ones, and now this one's even more messed up. I should have a free miter saw. Like, for real. I should have a free miter saw. Whatever Metabo's going to replace it with, I should have that free, or at least what I have now should have been free. And before you say, well, it's a business, they need money. Look, I've done it before. When I was selling shoes, the average price of my shoes was $350. If I royally messed up or one of my employees royally messed up like that, I'm giving those people those shoes for free. You want to know why? First of all, that guarantees me at least 3 sales in the future because they're going to be so impressed with my customer service. They're going to go tell their friends, and they're most certainly going to always shop with me. So, and then on top of that, I'm going to write that off. I'm going to write that loss off. All that was a win for me. So I'm very surprised by Menards. These people so greedy. They stupid.